Hey guys, James here again. This is going to be what if Goku was Sun Wukong. The next story basically is Goku is based off of Sun Wukong, pursues from Chinese mythology, on a story called Journey to the West. And in Journey to the West, Sun Wukong would meet these various, well, not he meets them, someone meets Sun Wukong, he goes with them, and so on and so forth. Sun Wukong became an almighty deity. Now, I did leave my notes behind in my room, so I'm going to grab those. I'll be right back. Okay. From this what if, Goku would lose his memory before he lands on Earth. So, Goku, or Sun Wukong, was the first resident of Universe 7. When Universe 7 was made, he was the first person made in it. And he is about as old as Majin Buu is. In fact, Majin Buu was Goku's first true rival. Or Kid Buu was Goku's first true rival. But eventually, after a decade of training, he was able to beat Majin Buu. Or Kid Buu. And throughout the next few decades, as he grew older, he eventually had a few hundred kids. He was a very lustful man. And Goku's lust had actually led to him making the Saiyan race of Universe 7. Now, first destroyer in Universe 7, Goku had fought. Goku had fought this destroyer, he had lost, but it was a very close fight. And after that, Goku grew to be old, and he wasn't really too fond of this. Using the intellect he had gained through his decades of life, and a bit of Majin Buu's DNA, he was able to keep his life extended, with the help of his destroyer rival he had once met. Once him and the destroyer were able to come up with these pills to make Goku immortal, Goku began using ki to flow through his body. And, people called him Sun Wukong, even though his name was Son Goku by birth. Or by creation. He doesn't know his parents are, doesn't know if he has any, but all he knows is he came into existence one day. Then the next day, so were billions and trillions of other life forms across the universe. But Goku would be able to create his own immortality via ki usage. Eventually, these pills also kept him immortal, and doing too many had made Goku even more of an immortal. Now, we go on to when Beerus first became Destroyer, so roughly 75 million years later. Pause real quick. So roughly 75 million years before the canonical story would begin, Goku was already a few billion years old, and he had already, watched the Saiyan race flourish, and fight at war with, I believe it was the Truffles. But Goku would let their war wage on. They started it, they can finish it. One gift that Goku had gained was him having a tail. His tail would go to the Saiyan race, where he already had a fully mastered Great Ape. And for some reason, only a certain branch of his bloodline were able to access a controlled Great Ape form that he was born with, and that he naturally had it. But, whatever. His race wasn't really someone he wanted to be with. Or what people he wanted to be with. They grew to be conquerors, evil. First 100 years of them were fine. But eventually they spiraled out of control. But Goku would just go on, all the way on, to just, he just goes on, and he fights Beerus. And when he fights Beerus' arrogance was something that made him agitated. The first destroyer that Beerus had wasn't this arrogant, this cocky, or this annoying. Beerus was nothing but a brat he could handle with ease. But, he had drive to beat Goku. He could give him that. Once he had beaten Beerus with very little effort, Whis had talked about how the previous destroyer had lost to Beerus, and Beerus beat him with no effort. And Whis wants to try to fight Goku. Usually angels are exempt from fighting, but, Goku's a legend among angels. Destroyers even. He's a legend among destroyers, even angels. Even Zeno and the Shingon have their eyes on Goku. But Goku would fight Whis for the first time, and he fought Whis to a standstill. Whis was amazed. No one's ever given him a challenge by his own siblings. Hell, even Bardos at this point is surpassing Whis. But eventually, Goku would leave and come back in another 1 million years. For the first 1 million years, Goku was every planet possible, learning all their techniques. At this point, Yardrat and Namek, they weren't really as notable to Goku. Their races of people that didn't really do much. didn't deem them notable, and just learned about how different races use ki. He knew nothing about the spirit at all. All he knew was that the Namekians made him a staff and he was in need to fight Majin Buu. The staff was the one that could extend, grow, could extend, shrink, expand, compress. Hell, he's held the universe together with it. But, well, this staff I'd compare in power to possibly a Whis'. It's an angel's staff. But eventually, he would just go on to fight Whis after a million years and defeat him, little to no effort. Goku had unlocked a new form. He thinks only he can have. The legendary Super Saiyan form, or the Super Saiyan. And well, his race had given themselves the name Super Saiyan, or not Super Saiyan, they gave themselves the name Saiyan. So he calls his form a Super Saiyan. Then, once he had named the form, he just goes on to keep advancing it. The point where he had gone up to Super Saiyan 3. Channeling his primal rage and primal instincts, he had made Super Saiyan 4. In Super Saiyan 3, he fights Whis, and he had won. But now he had beaten Whis, and now wants to go for the strongest angel, supposedly, Vados. It's Vados in Super Saiyan 3, and he barely beats her. Another decade would pass, where Goku had mastered all of his forms to an extreme level, a point where they're all like his base state. But still, he loves his power. Now that it's mastered, it takes up less ki. And like I said before, it's about as active as his base state. Now, against Vados. Well, again, Vados. Whis and Vados had teamed up to fight Son Goku, and as they fought, Super Saiyan 2 mastered state and defeated them both. After this, he'd gone on to wage war against every angel, fighting them all. As he was fighting every single angel, Super Saiyan 3 state was clearly enough to defeat them all. And he was holding back. He'd go full power for the one and only Daishinkan. Maybe Zeno, if Zeno wasn't as strong as he's heard. When Super Saiyan 4, he'd fight the Daishinkan, and they knock each other into a coma. At this point, it's around 73, 72 million years before the current story. And we go to the point where it's around 1 million years before the current story of Dragon Ball. Goku waged war on every single species outside Universe 7. He wanted a challenge that would make him stronger. Even if it was easy, he would get stronger. And fighting every single universe seemed to be the right way to go. So Goku, he found some way to travel fast enough, about matching Whis in power, or in speed at least, to travel through universes. And he did just that, waging war every single one, defeating their angels, their destroyers, their Kais, their strongest mortals. Eventually, after he had done this, he got strong enough to challenge Daishinkan. And fighting destroyers and angels enough, he'd gained God Ki, allowing him to go Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. And eventually, once he had gone all the way on to go against, Daishinkan again, his Super Saiyan God form, Super Saiyan Blue, same Super Saiyan 4 form, going on into that form, then use God Ki, turning the hair red, and the fur a lighter shade of red. But once Goku had fought Daishinkan in this form, it had beaten him, but barely. Goku was covered in bruises and scratches, and hell, he was impaled once. But didn't have time to check, as he had to fight Zeno now. As he fights Zeno, when Zeno fights, and Goku being weakened, he can barely keep up. Zeno's guards were easy. They weren't much stronger than a basic angel. But still, they proved to be a challenge while he was weakened. Then after he fought Zeno, landing one or two blows, Zeno had deemed Goku the strongest warrior. Outside of himself, of course. But Goku could not leave without punishment. Zeno would suddenly be growing in size. We look like a normal adult. Suddenly Zeno's fist had a giant white aura around it, and he slammed it into Goku's chest, seeing him flying right out of his dimension. As Goku plummets, he falls through different universes, being forced to witness every single action he's committed. Goku would fall through his own life, over and over again. But as he finished falling through his life, it was more of a Izanami effect. He had to correct his mistakes, or at least recognize them in correction. Challenging a deity isn't something that some mortal should do. Mortals are gifted life, they should respect it. Goku abused that given life by making it eternal. He abused that life by fighting a god's chosen ally, a destroyer, an angel, Zeno himself. So once Goku, quote-unquote, acknowledged his wrongdoings, in reality what he did, he knows he did it wrong, just doesn't want to change it. So he knows it's wrong, he admits it's wrong, and it broke. No one said he wouldn't do it again. But as he had finished falling through his memories, he noticed he was actually falling, just insanely slow. When he was done, eventually he had actually plummeted at a normal speed, as he had actually hit his head on his way down. He stood up dizzy, and, well, he didn't remember much, actually. He had lost his memory. He woke up hours later. When he woke up hours later, well, he thought he'd hit his head not that long ago, but it turned out it's been weeks. He looked at where he was. Briefly, the planet felt weird. He had just called it Earth. And eventually, Gohan had walked in, hearing a voice saying, "Oh, you're awake. Sir, are you okay? I heard a loud boom, and I saw something fall, and I heard a loud boom, and I checked and saw a man." Goku loses memory, said he has no idea what happened. All he knew is that he fell out of the sky. Or he hit his head after he fell out of the sky. He doesn't remember much. That Gohan says it must have been amnesia. Or, well, as Gohan thinks, he thought it may have been a fight. Was he an alien? He had to be. Falling from space itself. No human could survive that, but an alien could. In reality, Goku's immortality was the point where he could regenerate off of it, and with him being able to regenerate off of it, well, he couldn't breathe in space. It was just his body was just adapting to it normally. He's only saying that could breathe in space, so I don't know. I said he couldn't, but he adapted to it. Goku, to thank Gohan, volunteered to stay around and help him, and actually proved to be, well, really good with every single martial art Gohan had showed him. Goku went on every universe, learning martial arts. This one was no different. It was actually relatively easy for Goku. He learned it in a matter of weeks. But he stays with Gohan, and eventually Zeno had made sure that no one remembered who Son Goku was, besides angels and destroyers. People called him a tyrant. In reality, he was just someone who wanted to get stronger, but never killed a single person. Maybe Majin Buu or Bibbidi, but that was it. But no one innocent has ever died at Goku's hands. Well, he did wage war in the universe, but made sure that no one died by his hand, at least. He caused destruction, and that's about it. At best, someone would have a few broken bones, maybe a few burns from a ki blast. But Goku did go on to stay with Gohan for around 8 years. As he stays with Gohan, Bulma did eventually arrive, and asked to find the Dragon Balls, or asked to get a Dragon Ball. Gohan being alive, Goku gives Gohan a Dragon Ball. With how grown-up Goku looked, despite Goku being billions of years old, Gohan thought Goku could be nothing more than an average adult in his 20s, maybe even, as the youngest, a teenager. And Gohan estimated Goku's age. Well, he guessed possibly Goku may be at the most 30. At the most 30. But he'd settle in between at around, I'll think real quick. Gohan could think of an age for Goku, but he'd estimate probably 23 or 20, probably between 23 and 25 by the time he met Bulma. And Goku settled 23. And in reality, his age does not matter. He doesn't age, he doesn't get hurt, nothing. His body is more durable than a planet. It would take billions of planets to even will hurt him. Goku could simply not be destroyed. Because, well, one thing that has happened to Goku, he's been shot by a star directly. Well, Beerus launched a little star-level attack on Goku. Attack enough that's able to create and destroy a star all at once. And Goku simply slapped it away. His bare hand, not using ki, just raw physical strength and speed. Smacked it away. Right back at Beerus. So, yeah. Goku is simply that strong. And Goku, well, all he did with Gohan is gain new martial arts, and reignition on the ability to use Ki. And Goku, when he hit his head, well, not just his memories, his usage of God Ki was also zapped away, because he doesn't remember how to use it and how to activate it. So with him not being able to even use it or have it flow through him, you can't pass it on to Gohan. So eventually with this, Goku does go with Bulma, and Bulma found Goku very attractive. So with this, Bulma does hit on Goku. Goku occasionally flirts back as he actually has been in the city, knowing it'd be decently beneficial. Plus, Goku is actually decently intelligent. But it's not uncommon for women to flirt with Goku. It's not that uncommon. So him using his skills, he flirts back, and Bulma does get a crush on Goku. Goku doesn't really feel much for her. Eventually, they meet Yamcha. Goku abuses Yamcha in a fight in seconds. But all that happened, eventually, we have to go all the way on to, I'm going to say, probably, I'd say, yeah, Goku mainly speedruns Dragon Ball, but the main thing that would happen, that's important for Goku, is meeting Krillin. Here's Krillin, Roshi already knew that Goku was a prodigy of martial arts, and already mastered tournament style. So Roshi wanted to see how Goku could do with a student. And honestly, Goku never had a student. At the best when he fought Majin Buu, he'd teach him a few basics of martial arts. And that was it, but Majin Buu didn't listen. Well, he did decades, centuries later, but never fought Goku again, knowing it was going to be too easy for Goku. But, who knows? Maybe Buu would learn from these martial art teachings. But Goku did nonetheless proceed to teach Krillin martial arts, and for some reason Goku knew billions of martial arts, trillions at the most. Roshi did acknowledge this. It was very impressive. Pause. So, Goku being teaching Krillin, has never had a student before. As he teaches Krillin, he eventually had taught Krillin tons of martial arts. Goku knew every single Shaolin martial art. Goku has even been around for the first tournament school. He's been to Earth around that time. Well, honestly, probably not, since Goku had fell for a million years. At insanely slow speeds, but his body wasn't really visible to many people in a very distant way. But Goku didn't know a bit about human martial arts. He knew a lot about it. So Shaolin martial arts wasn't something that Goku wasn't too unfamiliar with. Certain universes had their own version of Shaolin martial arts. Certain universes, like Universe 6, were mirror universes. So a lot of stuff in there he already knew how to do, just because he assumed humans in Universe 7 could do it. So Goku had proceeded to basically teach Krillin a lot of Shaolin martial arts. Krillin already knew some of these, but Goku used them on a completely different scale. Goku had mastered them beyond mastery. While then everyone else, even Krillin himself, he barely used them on even close to mastery level. So Krillin was just amazed at this man's power. After around 4 months of training, Krillin had actually asked Goku where he was going, because Goku was leaving. Goku said that while he was in the city at one point, he had heard of someone by the name of Master Shen, dug into it, and found out he used to be, someone who was, not close, but someone who trained with Roshi. Goku wanted to see if they were truly as strong as Roshi, so he'll be leaving the sea. So Goku had mainly proceeded to just go out and find Shen, as Krillin and Roshi had, mainly Roshi. He told Goku go ahead. If Goku can beat Roshi pretty easily, Shen should be able to be beaten easier. So Goku, on his 6-month Yoshino, he had trained with Roshi for a year till the tournament, and Goku trained with Roshi for 4 months, so it's an 8-month journey. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so it's 8-month, 8-month journey. So he trained with Roshi for 4 months, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 8-month journey. He's came across, different kinds of people. He's came across bounty hunters, assassins, generally good people, martial artists, even Bulma and Yamcha when he went to get some food. He came across Bulma and Dr. Briefs and Pan. I believe Bulma's mom's name is Ponchi or something, but he met Bulma's father and mother. At one point while they're in a restaurant, and Bulma herself. And while he's getting food, Bulma invited him over. They asked who Goku was to Bulma, and she revealed his name Son Goku. Listen, Bulma's mother let slip that Goku was someone that Bulma could not stop talking about. Someone that Bulma kept having a crush on. Goku was flattered, but it doesn't really matter. But eventually Goku did leave thanking them for giving him some food, and proceeded to leave again, heading all the way to Master Shen. Before he got there, he had met Tao Pai Pai. Goku had beat various martial artists using their own martial arts very similar that he knew. You know how he knew them still, but he knew how to use them. That's for sure. But Goku did nonetheless proceed to go about, and once he actually did fight Tao, because Tao had heard about Goku through various bounty hunters, martial artists, assassins that fought Goku. Well, he wanted to test the skill for himself. So he attacked Goku using deadly martial arts skills. First, going in for an attack with a knife, only to have his knife quickly snatched and grabbed, and then have it plunged into his own shoulder. Well, the force that Goku shoved it in wasn't really necessarily hard, but fast. With his very fast stab, Goku let out a shockwave that let out a very loud boom, and a very sudden one. So with this, he ended up basically shattering Tao's arm. The stab was mainly towards the shoulder, but Goku was very direct with it. So he shattered Tao's arm with that, and Tao was amazed. Also, such precision and strength that Goku had controlled on such an extreme level. Beginning to attack Goku using ki, Goku just simply flicked his strongest blast into pieces. Only for Goku to hold out his finger and charge up one small ball, and it suddenly just hits Tao right in the chest, and, across the world, a loud shockwave is heard, and a dust cloud, the size of a mushroom cloud, is heard and seen. With this, Tao is killed. Goku said that Tao has been his most interesting fight in a while. He leaves again, heading all the way on to Little Crane School, meeting Tien and Chaozu. He beats Master Shen, but he doesn't have the actual Crane School martial arts. Trains with those, even getting their gi, but is about to leave after 2 months of simply just using it. He skipped out on the tournament due to Shen insisting that he doesn't participate because Roshi's gonna be there. Goku revealed he trained with Roshi first. He learned Turtle martial arts already because he was raised by someone who was trained by Roshi. So he already knew the martial art briefly. Current Roshi just made him master it. And he heard about Shen being stronger than Roshi, or possibly as strong as him, so he went to train with Shen. But he found out that Shen wasn't really anything too impressive. With that, Tien and Chaozu have actually been influenced by Goku's just natural good nature. Goku, for some reason, found Tien very familiar. So, with Tien being somewhat familiar to Goku, yes, Goku in his past life, but before he had hit his head, he met one members of Tien's race, or someone very similar to it, and knew a lot of their abilities. So yes, Tien could do these various amount of abilities. One day, Goku had just poked Tien kind of on the eyelid, so it didn't poke Tien directly in the eye, but still stung a bit. So ki through Tien's body with Goku's positive energy and just positive ki. Tien had eventually regained ability in his eye, briefly. But one thing that Tien gained by default, mastered spirit control. And using every ability possible, and when he sent ki sent through his body, and it was able to nonetheless help him use these abilities. Tien gained a very natural good nature. And Chaozu was influenced by this, and Chaozu was then told a few things. Eventually, when Goku was about to leave, some of the things that Tien had told Chaozu before Tien left first was basically just don't fall into Shen's trap of being evil. Set your own path. Chaozu thought it was just Tien being too influenced by Goku, which made Chaozu actually hate Goku. But he did realize that this is true. Goku was simply just not the influence of Tien. Tien's natural nature was like this. Shen just forced evil onto them both. So this led to Chaozu leaving with Goku. And before they left, Chaozu himself had beaten Shen. Tien did it first in only a few seconds. Chaozu did it in less time than that. And Shen was beaten by Goku on the first day. So, yeah. As they all leave, the next arc would be the Red Ribbon Army arc. Goku had already killed Tao, so there's really no Tao Pai Pai arc. Goku kind of gained the Superman stance in the world. Goku getting new clothes as Chaozu went to find Tien. Goku looked exactly like this, just minus the headpiece. But he looked exactly like that. And he flew around the world looking for someone to, well, fight with, spar with, something. He had heard a loud cry from somewhere he had already been watching. Korin's tower. He'd heard legends about it, just never went up it. He didn't get courage yet. As he arrived right below it, he had seen a few members of the Red Army trying to terrorize them for the Dragon Ball, mainly Borin and Oompa and their tribe, only for a giant shockwave to be erupted in front of them all, and there were armies sent flying away. Just thus, Goku had winked at Borin and Oompa, and Goku disappeared, and 1 minute later, he arrives back, and he's covered in a bit of blood, a bit of ash, a bit of such, anything. And that's what he did, and he says he made sure that the Red Army can't come back. He destroyed every single base they had around the world. But he did miss one small base, being an underground one, as he forgot about Dr. Gero. Dr. Gero couldn't use any key, didn't really have any power whatsoever. It's very minor, on the level of a regular human. While most members of the Red Army seemed a bit different. And he could identify a lot of them. Gero seemed like a basic scientist, so he kind of didn't leave or go near Gero. You could touch him or go near him at all. So, which with this, we should go on to see Goku, who just, pause. The Red Army is destroyed. Goku had told that to Borin Oompa. Borin Oompa asks Goku who he is. He says his name is Son Goku. And they've heard legends of him. Tien and Chaozu had actually, fought against many people. Tien wanting to test his strength out, but not in a dishonorable way, actually just bowing, wanting to test out his martial arts skill, and to master his ability. And many martial artists can actually honor this ability and respect it. That Tien is just going this far to master his power. So with this, we go on to see Tien, and who actually spread rumors, about how he got stronger by the name of Son Goku, which reached Borin Oompa's tribe, which reached Borin Oompa themselves, which reached Korin, which reached Kami and Mr. Popo, who told Kami. But the name Son Goku is renowned among people who like fighting. Even like some random hoodlums who just enjoy fighting have probably heard of Son Goku. But Borin Oompa, Bora wants to test out Goku's power for himself and attacks Goku, only for him to be swiftly just chopped in the side and almost have his body be sent flying in half. Not sent flying, but just get chopped in half just through simple chop to the side. So with that, we just see Bora hit the ground, coughing up blood, which Goku just puts his hand down, covering it, sending ki all over Bora, healing him. Bora then Goku telling him about Korin's tower and how he should climb it. And Goku would immediately begin climbing it, and climb it in just 10 minutes. When we get to the top, 10 minutes was just Goku taking his time. But eventually, we just see Goku, who goes all the way on to just, he just went to the top, and met Korin. Yajirobe went up the same way, I'll say that. As he tried to turn to Korin briefly, Korin's like, catch me. When Korin moved, Goku simply just grabbed him and just held him in place, and Korin was just amazed by this. Goku said that Korin should be training Yajirobe, not him. He put Korin down. Plus, Goku's intelligence, by the way, through the roof, if I didn't mention already. He's a genius among geniuses. I guess his intelligence currently is rivaling Bulma, but due to him hitting his head, surpassing Bulma, but due to him hitting his head, it's close to Bulma's. Well, in reality, if he didn't hit his head, he'd probably be about as smart as an angel. So, yeah, like I'm talking about like Whis Angel, not like King Emma Angel. Well, we just see Goku, who just goes on, and as he goes on, he eventually went about, and he went all the way on to, I'll say, probably just the next tournament, which, at least the Tien Shinhan arc could be the one that goes on. Goku, someone had found a way to contact him, as he actually lived with Borin Oompa's tribe, and they found a way to get in contact with Goku. Some man, like the usual announcer guy, like the blonde guy with the glasses and suit, he approached Goku, just seeing Goku sitting on top of a giant dinosaur, eating a giant pterodactyl. He handed Goku a letter, and it just said that he was offered to be a guest for the next tournament. Goku thought it'd be cool, so he accepted. Pause real quick. So, as Goku had accepted the invite to become a guest, he had went there and sat down in a seat as a guest, but happened to be right next to Tien Shinhan and Roshi. Tien introduced himself to Roshi as one of Shen's former students, but Goku opened his eyes to how evil Shen was, and Roshi just said that he was Goku's teacher for a few months. But Goku in this one was mainly wearing a red gi, not really he was wearing a red gi, but the back of it had mainly said Korin on it, because Korin was the one that gave Goku the most advice with training. Yes, it may be surprising, but Korin gave Goku more tips than physical instructions. He wasn't physically showing Goku anything. He's a cat, but he's more or less helping Goku with just advice on certain martial arts that Goku was using. Korin knew a bit about them. He actually told Goku that certain people use them, and then if Goku found it valuable, Goku would use the martial arts that way. Well, yeah, Korin helped Goku briefly, which gave Goku the idea of putting Korin on the back of his gi. But let me find a picture real quick. Goku mainly looks like this. Give him normal hair, and then turn the black red, and then make it say Korin, and that's just what you get. That's how Goku looks. Also, just add the tiger thing around his waist, or tiger skin around his waist. But unless they watch the tournament go on, and the tournament we would see Yamcha, Chaozu, Krillin, and any other miscellaneous fighters besides Goku and Tien. Now at this point, Goku's power level, with him having God Ki, there's really no power level for him. He doesn't have one. Tien roughly is around 400. And then we have Roshi below that at around 200. Roshi's trained a bit harder for Krillin. Krillin's around 190. Yamcha's about 140. And Chaozu around 300 exactly. So Chaozu's a bit stronger than them all. Chaozu ends up being the winner of this. And yeah. Now with this, we move forward, going on to Tambourine attacking Krillin. Tambourine and Krillin fight, and Krillin is covered in blood and scratches, but he still was able to make Tambourine will go away. He scared off Tambourine. Goku found Krillin, and will begin healing Krillin. As Krillin's healed, I forgot to go over one thing: the Dragon Balls. For the wish, I had it in my notes somewhere, but I guess I didn't say it. Wish the Dragon Balls didn't really have anything of importance. It was really just Bulma's infinite strawberry thing, because Goku doesn't have a wish in mind, doesn't really want to do anything, doesn't really care about his past or anything. Yamcha didn't want anything. No one wanted anything. But yeah. Now with this, we just go on to see Goku, who just goes and I guess when Tambourine reports back to Piccolo about how strong Krillin was, and Krillin was even the strongest one there. Well, now Piccolo had an idea. Once he wished for youth, first off, Goku told everyone to stay back, away from Piccolo. He has an idea, because Piccolo's going to come to them, and he knows it. They're kind of nervous about this, but they'll believe Son Goku. Which led to basically just Goku waiting for Piccolo to wish for youth. Piccolo killed Shenron, they arrive, and Piccolo immediately fight down a Ki Blast before anyone can even see him move. Only to have the area not explode. In reality, Goku just went below it and grabbed the Ki Blast. Not grabbed it, but as soon as it hit Goku's hand, he just squeezed it with his palm shut, basically containing a blast that could not compare power, but be pretty close to a nuke. And Goku simply just crushed it. So yeah. Piccolo was questioning if something happened, so he looked down to see what happened. Seeing someone standing there with steam coming off of his hand. Then in front of Goku, questioning who he is, only to be punched right through the gut, throwing up blood and an egg. As soon as Piccolo just hit, off reflex, he spat out an egg. The egg hit the ground and was cracking until Goku caught it with feet, kicking it up into his other hand, and Piccolo had died, leading Piccolo Jr. to stay in the egg. Dark Souls were just amazed that Piccolo, whose power level is close to Tien, he still lost. With the Dark Souls all rush at Goku, only for Roshi and Tien and Chaozu step in, mainly Tien and Chaozu. They've been dropping Dark Souls left and right with their teamwork, still being precise, and it's amazing. Tambourine had healed a bit, rushing right at Tien. Only have Chaozu lashed onto his face, and Chaozu launched Ki Blast from his feet and his hands all at once, completely firing holes through the face of Tambourine. And Tambourine hits the ground with his body being limp, and all the Dark Souls are killed. Kami would arrive on the ground, holding out his hand, wanting the egg. Goku asked why he should give it to Kami. Kami says so he can steal it away, and there's no evil like Piccolo unleashed in the world again. Only to have his hand slapped away by Goku. That's when Goku would say that Kami is an excuse of a being if he's God. This Kami shirt says God, or says Kami on it. Kami then actually was about to grab the egg from Goku, thinking that Goku wasn't that strong, only to have Kami body slammed into the ground over and over again, to the point where Roshi has to pull Kami away from Goku. So Goku that Kami, that Kami cannot die, or else a lot of the world will stop functioning normally. Goku has then said that Kami does not deserve the role of Kami if he's willing to sacrifice an unborn child for the father had done. Bulma does see a point in this, and she has an idea it could help her and help Goku. She then yells that her and Goku will raise the egg. At this point, Goku canon would be about 16 years old. This Goku, at the beginning of the canon Dragon Ball, he's about 11 years old. Now at the end, not the end, but before he becomes Kami, he's about 16. That's around 5 years. At this point, at the beginning, Goku's estimated age for human years was around 23. At this point, Goku would be 28, and Bulma would be about 21. So with this, yeah, she wants to take care of the egg with Goku. Goku actually does see what Bulma's trying to do, and well, he can actually flirt back with her normally, and Bulma probably would actually want to raise the egg normally if he gets attached to it, so that would give him help and a possible sparring partner with actual growing up love. He backed up Bulma's statement, and Kami said fine, and just make sure the egg doesn't cause any chaos. And even if one life is damaged under your supervision, then you'll be blamed and held accountable. Goku agreed to this, and yeah. Pause real quick. Alright, so Kami had said okay to Goku and Bulma raising the egg, and 3 years pass. Piccolo is raised under the supervision of Goku and Bulma. Bulma being Bulma and being a willfully strong woman and just strong in general with mainly emotion and mental stuff, not really physical. Piccolo had gone a lot of scolding as a child, and as a child, he wasn't a child for long, but he's still very impressionable and very, well, he was different, he was green. But still, he was very impressionable, and Bulma's attitude on him kind of formed him to be a very decent child. And just eventually grew up to be big. Goku being taking more of a role on him, it only took a few months, but Goku being trained Piccolo with different martial arts. Coincidentally, some of them were actually from Namek. Goku actually had no interest in Namek at all, but still, they had guardians on him, so he occasionally went there once or twice to figure out how they fought. The fight style wasn't really too complicated. In just a few days, he actually mastered it completely, then left. Yara Dread, they don't have any fighting techniques, they had spirit control, which he had no interest in at all, so he didn't ever go there. He doesn't know of it, but it hasn't been there. Just to clear that up. But using these Mecha martial arts, Piccolo had fully mastered it with Goku's help, and eventually he had actually begun learning how to use Ki. He even made his own techniques. Kami realized how well Bulma played a parenting role and how well Goku played a mentor role. This way, Piccolo's not even a year old, around 8 months at the most. Piccolo's still decently big. But with this, well, eventually Goku and Bulma they just have an actual child by now, and well, they do. Leading to the birth of, well, Bulma wanted to name him, well, Long John, but Gohan died of disease. I'm doing this because I don't want to name a child after pants or underwear, or a bra, or any article of clothing, so Gohan it is. Let me make sure it's not a name of article of clothing, so I may have to change his name. Okay, so Gohan's name mainly means cooked rice, I don't care, but yeah. So, Gohan would be born around 2 years later. So Gohan, this one's 2 years younger than Piccolo. And Piccolo actually having played the role of a big brother. Gohan is a baby. Piccolo looks like he's a grown man, despite being around 2 years old. And with this, Piccolo actually has to play a very, very protective role as a babysitter, but also as a big brother. He has to do both. Goku and Bulma, well, Goku actually learns a lot of stuff from Capsule Corp, but already seem to know a lot of stuff in similar ways, but more ancient or Stone Age type ways. But also, with just common knowledge and common instinct and feelings, found a way to advance a lot of technology in Capsule Corp differently than people would think. And with Goku's, well, Stone Age thoughts, but also his, well, futuristic thoughts at the same time, he quickly rose to the ranks of the Capsule Corp, leading him and Bulma both becoming the heads of Capsule Corp. Bulma being the face, Goku being the brain. But Bulma also actually corrects the brain if it's wrong, so, yeah. But also, with Goku training constantly with Gohan and, well, not Gohan, but with Piccolo, and Bulma actually occasionally getting interested in it, she trains with them both a little bit, to the point where her power level's around 400. But the Z Fighters are a bit stronger than that, as he did stop by to train with Goku. And, well, Goku actually did realize that, well, he moved around too freely. thought of that was gravity. So gravity training had been in the in the production for the next few years. The prototypes were used by everyone but Goku and Piccolo. So yeah. But the Z fighters, I'm gonna go over their power levels before the tournament. We're gonna go with Goku to fight Piccolo Jr., but in this one it's gonna be I'd say it's gonna be Krillin who defeats Piccolo Jr. or tries to defeat him. The strongest human is going to be Tien. The power level matching Raditz. Now, I'm gonna go over the reason that he did be coming to Earth. Well, there's been unusually high spikes coming from that planet, mainly Goku or Piccolo, because they're the ones that have the high spikes. High spike coming from Piccolo, who seems to be around Vegeta level. So they're gonna go to that planet and scout it out. Vegeta and Nappa are plus Raditz, and Raditz is gonna be the weak link to investigate and determine it. So yeah. But we just move on, going on to just past that, all the way to just back to the power levels. Tien matching Raditz. Below Tien, we have Krillin, who is his way up past Chaozu, all the way on to power level of 900. Shino, Tien's 1,500. It's a bit low for below 900, a bit low. So we'll say Krillin's around 1,300. Below Krillin, we have Chaozu at around 1,200, and Yamcha 1,250. So barely below Chaozu. Yamcha recently started training again, but was still really strong individually. And with this, we go on a bit further, all the way to, further but lower. For Yamcha, we have Roshi, who's around 1,000 exactly. And, yeah, that's really it. Cool. Besides Gohan, 3 years old, he doesn't really count. Well, at this point, he's like 2, but when he does turn 3, or I did not at this point, he's around. I'll say he has a power level of, 200, 300. He doesn't train too much because he's too small, but still, he does copy his dad's training moves. In 2 years past, multiply everyone's power level by power level, not 2 years. 1 year passes, we just multiply everyone by 2, and then you get their current power levels. So yeah. But Goku still cannot be calculated, but understandably, he can still fight an angel on par with him. So, not an angel, probably about a destroyer and be on par with them. So, yeah. Well, I'd say compared to Beerus, who's supposed to be the strongest destroyer, I'd say he can probably take about 60% of Beerus' power without even having Super Saiyan form of knowledge yet. So, 60% of Goku going full Super Saiyan without the God Ki or Super Saiyan 4. 60% of Beerus' power. Super Saiyan 4 is where he defeats Beerus. So, yeah, but he doesn't have even Super Saiyan 1 yet. But the tournament goes on with Goku, Tien, and Roshi as judges. And final fight is going to be Piccolo. Piccolo, if I had to count, I believe Piccolo would be at around, I'd say 3,000 roughly. Well, suppressing 3,000. When he fights against Krillin, who multiplied by 2, so I'm real quick. Well, Krillin roughly is around 2,600. While Piccolo suppressing himself to be around 3,000, 4,000. Krillin was a pretty good fight for a suppressed Piccolo. Piccolo, at full power, is now grade 8 Vegeta level. He still defeats Piccolo. Still defeats Krillin. But they did give Krillin some respect, saying Krillin did a good job. And Piccolo at this point is more of a Cell arc or Cell saga kind of Piccolo personality, so a lot like that. But also his garbs aren't pink. They're mostly a very dark shade of red. So either really dark shade of red, then his usual white clothes are just white. So yeah. But Piccolo was welcomed up to the lookout by Kami, and in the Cell Saga, Kami did offer Piccolo, not offer, but he did fuse a Piccolo. But then in another 2 years, Piccolo and Kami do fuse because Kami trusted Piccolo that much. The evil side of Piccolo, or the evil side of Kami, had seemingly been purified by his little brother and his father and his mother. Now with that, Piccolo and Kami fuse, getting the power levels a lot higher. So let me find that multiplier. So by the time of the Raditz's arrival, Piccolo's already around 630,000. He's already on that level. Then Krillin, who's still not the strongest human on Earth, was already surpassing Raditz in the tournament, and it's been 5 years since then. I'm gonna go over the power levels. Piccolo 630,000. Goku unreadable. Gohan unreadable because he was born with a God Ki from Goku. They don't know if they have it or how to use it, but they still have it. So Gohan is unreadable. So it's Goku, but we had Piccolo. Gohan was unreadable. but as a child, then once he learned how to use ki, it became unreadable immediately. So yeah. But also they now have the wonderful thing of gravity training. So yeah, that's how Piccolo's a bit stronger than he should be. Because the multiplier of him and Kami fusing is ×2. Then gravity training, I amped it up a bit. So yeah. But now Goku actually has access to Super Saiyan 1 and 2 now. And, well, they already seem to be mastered, so he knows this, so there's really no need to train them. But besides, he's going to teach them to Gohan. He's trying to, at least. So, yeah. Piccolo, 630,000. Then below him, we have Tien, who's roughly around Vegeta level exactly, like base form Vegeta. And then we have Grade 8 Vegeta, which would be beyond his pay grade, but still, with spirit control on full display, using cloning, healing, and his we can not zap ki, but he can actually kind of control ki around him. If it's fired at him, it kind of like just split it in half and make it go around him. It's just like it does drain his own power a bit, but well, it drains a normal person's power decently. So yeah, it's kind of like he's using his power and your power to make your power go the wrong way. So yeah, this power can also be helped to nonetheless direct your power to go a different direction if you miss somehow. So yeah. But so at least the Tien being around 18,000 in power levels in terms of power level. Below that, we'd have Krillin, who's roughly around 12,000. It's not 12,000. It's too lowballing him. I'll say 15,000. Then below him, you would have I would say probably Yamcha, who grew a bit because his friends are a lot stronger than him still. Yamcha's around I'll say 12,000. Katsu 10,000. Roshi 8,000. If you go on, we're beginning at the power level. He's already on first base form Frieza level, but still pretty impressive. Like full power Gohan is like first one Frieza that we see. He's like that level. But when Ras arrives, they all sense him. They're not worried. And when Ras goes where the strongest power levels are with the scouter, the lowest one they can sense is Roshi, which is 8,000. When he arrives there, he questions how they're all so strong. They're supposed to be regular Earthlings. They all point to Goku, saying he trained a majority of us. Because, well, he did. He trained Krillin, he trained Tien, he trained Chaozu. Roshi learned a bit from him. He trained Krillin, he trained Yamcha. They've all learned a lot from Goku. So Krillin already has a few thousand martial arts under his belt just because of Goku. Tien knows every martial art known to mankind and a few alien martial arts. Piccolo knows fully mastered Namekian martial arts and fully mastered human martial arts. Like, they all have at least 1,000 martial arts under their belt because of Goku. Even Bulma has a few hundred. So yeah, Bulma herself is probably 800 at the maximum. So she's decently impressive for a regular human, but still. But yeah, by the way, Chi-Chi's a Z-Fighter as well. She says that she doesn't attend with them all because she has a crush on Goku. And she's mad that he married Bulma and declined her offer. So, yeah. Just because she's jealous of Bulma, she doesn't attend the whole meeting things that they have. And they usually meet in Mount Paozu now, because Goku lives there. Because, well, him and Bulma and Gohan live there. But they're here to meet Piccolo as well. Like, they live there, but they made it, like... They kind of have it as a secret workplace, but in reality, the giant building they have there is more like an apartment thing for... Like, apartment, but like it's just a giant house for the Z-Fighters. Or not house, but... giant facility for Goku, Bulma, Piccolo, and Gohan to live. But then, once you get out of the rooms, it's a whole giant training facility for the Z-Fighters. Chi-Chi does attend as long as she doesn't see Bulma. So, yeah. People think it's like a construction building in Mount Paozu. Well, yeah, so Rise arrives at the meeting. Well, first off, Krillin tells him screw off. He starts to attack Krillin, thinking he's just some random small child, only to have his leg, he goes for a kick, Krillin just smacks his leg away. Rest falls to the ground, holding his leg that's just very badly broken. But gets up and says he'll kill the old man if they try to do anything else, and immediately dashes to go attack Roshi. He only needs to be beaten half to death by Roshi's cane. Instead of being beaten, he's just holding his head covered in bruises. But eventually he wobbles up, just wondering why they're all so strong. Only to have Vegeta tell Raditz to retreat. Raditz says he's a Saiyan, he doesn't retreat. So Vegeta says that if Raditz does make it out alive, he'll get a beating for disobeying Vegeta. But quickly he just sees well, not he sees Vegeta. They also see Raditz just jump at Goku full speed, saying, "You can't be that strong. You don't have any ki coming from you." Quickly, chopping motion is seen by Goku. Like everyone sees him do a chopping motion, but Piccolo's covering Gohan's eyes. As they all see Piccolo, they see Raditz's body stop behind Goku, and his head will hit the ground. And as Vegeta and Nappa were able to somewhat just hear a loud squelching noise, and Gohan had immediately yelled, saying his head hit the ground. Vegeta and Nappa are able to assume that Goku chopped off Raditz's head. So yeah. But immediately, Goku picked up a scouter, hearing voices on the other end, then just breaks the scouter. But nothing important happened after that till the Saiyans arrive. They multiply everyone's power will here by at least 4 times, besides Goku and Gohan and Bulma's, because they can't really have a multiplier. Chi-Chi was already kind of exactly right at its level, so yeah. So multiply here by like 4, do 3 or 4, and she's maybe close in power to Nappa or above him. I believe it'd be above him. So yeah. So 1,500 times 3. I got it, but it'd be above Nappa. So Chi-Chi is able to beat Nappa. But Saiyans arrive, not even all the fighters are there. Like literally, Piccolo was just in the mountain nearby, just watching something on his phone, because he happens to be there where the Saiyans are in the wasteland to fight. We see Chi-Chi, and we see Tien. Tien got strong enough to actually rival Great Ape Vegeta, and that's about it. To rival him, not beat him, but yeah. Pause. So literally, it's just Tien and Chi-Chi. They don't understand anyone weaker, anyone stronger, or in between. Tien's the strongest human, and Chi-Chi is not the weakest, but she's up there among the weaker Z fighters. And Bulma was still training with Goku occasionally, just because it keeps her fit and in shape. She doesn't gain a lot of muscle mass, but still really strong. She is decently powerful, pretty close to Raditz would be. So she's pretty close to Raditz at around 1,200. So she's strong. But we just see just Goku arrive right next to Piccolo and begin watching whatever Piccolo's watching. Only to Vegeta just being annoyed by this, but fights Tien, then gets the hell beat out of him. And turns into a Great Ape, so it's still getting rivaled in power. And then Nappa is quickly just one shot by Chi-Chi. He went just dashed her, saying, "Huh, you'll be a good plaything." So Cyberman, only to have her just let out a Ki with very large aura surrounding her, then the shockwave from the aura erupting had killed Cyberman and sent Nappa flying back and toward the Saiyan armor. As it destroyed the Saiyan armor of Nappa, we see Nappa just jump in, saying that he'll make Chi-Chi his and a plaything. Only to Chi-Chi just do a very swift roundhouse kick and break Nappa's jaw and knock him out all at the same time. Nappa at the ground is rolling across the battlefield. He just had blood coming from his mouth, and she looks up at Tien, who's fighting Vegeta, and actually on par with him as a Great Ape. But he's a bit faster. But eventually Goku had looked at Chi-Chi and pointed to Vegeta's toe briefly, and she immediately hit as she knew what he meant. So Tien hit him in the jaw. He appeared right next to Vegeta's jaw, kicking Vegeta in the jaw. Vegeta would jump, then just yell Kamehameha, as she'd learned that from Roshi, who she trained with for a bit, and firing Ki Blast, blowing off Vegeta's tail, and turning him back into his base form. He asks how strong they are compared to Goku and Piccolo, and that's when she says, well, one, Piccolo could have beaten Great Vegeta in one shot, and Goku, well, who knows what he could have done with one full force punch. And that's when Tien just says, if this is a true answer, he would have just destroyed their portion of the universe, or the galaxy at least. This shocked Vegeta, thinking they're just hyping up Goku, but then he feels a presence that is emitted off Goku once Vegeta even showed a bit of malice towards humans. The aura that Goku let off, immediately Vegeta just compared Goku to someone beyond Frieza. So that just showed how strong Goku was, at least. Nappa suddenly got up, trying to go towards Chi-Chi, only to hit him in right in the heart, a swift tap to the chest, But then with how fast it was, no one realized he shattered all his ribs and like reached his heart, and he hit the ground with his ribs shattered and his heart getting a very swift and strong punch that killed him. So Chi killed Nappa. But eventually we go on to Vegeta in the hospital, and well, Goku read his mind. Some ability that Goku would already had for some reason. He doesn't know how, but he does. He doesn't know about half his power. He doesn't know how he has it. But eventually, Vegeta does leak some stuff about Frieza. Then Goku gets all the information he needs. And as she does say Frieza would give him a challenge. He thinks Frieza would, but fun form Frieza would give base Goku a run for his money. Like uninjured base form Frieza would give Goku a run for his money. If Goku was suppressing himself. But yeah, Goku done the one with the training that he took to wait for the ships to be built, not knowing he could breathe in space. Goku, well, first off, I'm gonna go over some abilities he already was and already had. So he was an acrobat. He already had that. He had a Kinto Un already. He didn't summon it until Roshi gave him one. Then he had two of them, which he combined, making a giant one. He could do a bit of magic, like Baba kind of magic. He learned how to do it from Baba. He's very stealthy to the point where like no one even knows he's there. Like he's like a Killua level of like ninja kind of stuff. Like he's like a Killua level of stealthy. He's insane. He's immortal. I said that. He's mastered all martial arts with that, which I've hinted at a number of times. He's mastered them all. He has a regeneration factor, which is given for Dragon Ball Immortality if you've seen Zamasu. And then he has enhanced to the point where his like if he has a bad feeling, it's more or less precognition, not a feeling. It's like precognition, not feelings. His sight, you can see miles away without even like you can see up to halfway across the country with just basic eyesight. Hearing, he can hear most of the country he's on. He has that good of hearing. His taste and touch. His taste is very in depth, as he can win a lot of money. Like with tasting and like he can name every single ingredient. Then with scent, he can smell most ingredients, so on and so forth. He can clone himself multiple times over using every single strand of hair he has, and they grow back immediately. Like the moment one is launched off, they grow back. So you can make an infinite number of clones in the hundreds of thousands to millions and billions. Only difference is it wastes its ki. I think the real Son Wukong would waste power with the whole clone thing, but this Goku would just dumb him down a bit. But yeah. But then he has weather control. Once he was able to combine his two clouds he could fly on, he learned how to control the weather. But his clouds were given to Gohan. So yeah, they're gonna Gohan. Piccolo, being pure-hearted now with the help of Kami, he can ride on clouds as well. But he has weather control. This man can create natural disasters with the wave of his hand. It's not just on Earth; it's on every planet he wants to go to. He can control their natural disasters. He can control his own size, which is like growing taller, shorter, expanding, compressing himself. His staff can do that as well. He just doesn't use the staff that often because it doesn't need to. He can shapeshift, turn into like animals, people, objects. Yeah, he can also do like the whole you know how Tien in the original series had grown different arms, grown just different limbs. Goku can also do that, but on a cell, like he can just control every single cell and atom he has on an extreme level. He can control light to a decent degree. He can just control a different form of ki. He doesn't know what it is, but he can do it, and that's hinting at his God ki. All he knew is that when he controlled this different kind of ki, his aura turned red for a second. Then he can somewhat shoot out a non-physical version of himself, which he can survive without. Like, this version of himself is basically as strong as his normal form. Thinking the only difference is he doesn't need to eat or drink anything. And no one can see him. So yeah. He can turn invisible. He can create barriers that are insanely durable. And, well, this ability is more or less not important, but he can break any lock he wants to. He can resurrect himself, and then using a bit of his magic can resurrect other people. Then he has spatial manipulation, as he learned that ability while fighting Whis. He just learned it. Then he can control his luck. He learned how he kind of invented that ability against Shinkan. Then he can control time. He kind of learned that ability, like subconsciously while he's falling through time itself. Then he can control all matter. You kind of have that ability randomly. Then soul manipulation, another ability he learned while falling through his memories / time. Then he can warp reality. He kind of had that ability against Majin Buu. Like he can warp it to the point where walking out of the time chamber is pretty much nothing for him. Like if he were to be trapped in it, just put his hand on the wall and walk right through it. That's how much he warps reality, or on the scale of him warping it. And that is just light work for him, is warping the time chamber. But yeah. So eventually they all head to space. Goku watches Vegeta and Chi-Chi are obviously getting along in certain kinds of ways. And we go to them all heading to Namek. I say to Namek because, well, Chi-Chi opened her mouth differently than Vegeta would have liked, but still, well, differently than most guys would have liked. But still, someone else had leaked the Dragon Balls, and they all head to Namek. So, yeah. Let's say to Namek, they get there, and when they get there, they have to nonetheless, what would it be? Oh. I'd say just Frieza, I guess, so. Well, Frieza and first Ginyu Force, because the humans arrive there first. The ones that are in the time chamber, not time chamber, in the pod that Goku has, the gravity pod, the people that are there are mainly just Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo. Gohan's with everyone else. But we would just go on and see, pause. Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo, they're in the pods. Well, pods, they're in the gravity chamber ship. And Piccolo, Goku, and Vegeta train there. Or Goku trains the two in there. But eventually, after a bit of training with Vegeta, Goku's actually able to get Vegeta to a power level of roughly around, I'd say, Vegeta was at 18,000. They got a Zenkai from a month of healing. Goku occasionally, whenever Vegeta was asleep, Goku just using his goodwill, not wanting to have Vegeta think of him as weak. Goku has a bit of frail emotions. He heals Vegeta briefly, allowing Vegeta to get a one month recovery, giving Vegeta a Zenkai of around, I'd say, matching possibly Jace and Ginyu Force, which are around there. It's like 42,000. Then train with Goku in the time chamber, gravity chamber. on the ship. Well, she had enough power to where Goku wanted to teach him Super Saiyan. Because he got that power really quick. Because Goku did not let them eat or sleep if he wasn't pleased with them. So eventually, the time that they do arrive on Namek, well, Vegeta had a power level of roughly around I'm gonna say, to lowball it, 4 million. Piccolo was already in the 100,000s. As he was able to defeat Frieza, or if he fought first on Frieza, he would have beaten him. Piccolo using the same multiplier. Let me find it real quick. Piccolo would be around 12 million. But then the dynamic, while Goku is still unreadable alongside Gohan. But Ginyu Force. So Ginyu Force to fight against the humans. During 1 month, the humans all got the level of the Ginyu Force. Tien had actually surpassed all of them. So Tien was already above Ginyu. So when they fought during 1 month, he was just getting overpowered to the point where he's able to box First Form Frieza. Like even terms of box First Form Frieza. So he fights Ginyu, he wins pretty easily. Then the rest of the humans fight against the Ginyu Force, but Gohan just watches as the Raccoon attacks him, and then he just one-shots Raccoon with a headbutt. Like Raccoon got close enough to Gohan, just headbutted him and knocked out Raccoon. With Goldo, tried to just legit grab Goldo and threw him off planet. Like the one time was unfrozen, tried to appear behind him, threw him off planet. That's really it. So as soon as Goldo leaves orbit, he's just left in the vacuum of space to die. Then after that, we just go on to see Jace being beaten up by Yamcha, and that's in Jace. Not Jace. I mean, Birder. Yamcha's fighting Birder. Birder says, "I'm fast in the universe. You can't keep up with me." Only to have Yamcha just appear in front of him, kicking him through a boulder, as all Yamcha says is, "You're slow." Then Yamcha holds out his hand, firing for Ki Blast, completely incinerating Birder. Krillin will fight Jace, beat him pretty easily, and yeah. And they're all, minus Tien, a little bit above 70,000. All of them are. I'd say all of them, briefly, are matching Ginyu in power. Well, then, we have Tien, like I said before, can box First Form Frieza. So, yeah. We're back on to when everyone was on Namek, mainly Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta. They step off the ship. They just see Tien just dodging hits from Midoriya and Zarbon like he's nothing. Then Vegeta actually demands Tien move out of the way. Only to Goku hit Vegeta on the back of the head, and Vegeta says, "May you move so I can fight those two idiots." So leads to Tien nodding, and he just appears right in front of Vegeta appears right in front of Tien. Zarbon and Midoriya dash at Vegeta, hoping to kill him with no effort. Only to have this a hole punch right through Zarbon, who's going full power, and Midoriya just have his body torn in half with just one simple yank on his arm from Vegeta. This killed them both. Now Vegeta would yell out for Frieza, and he breaks his power so Frieza's scatter would go off, and Frieza would head towards the power, flying all the way. But mainly Vegeta had picked up on something being Chaozu. He sensed Chaozu briefly on Earth when he learned how to sense Ki briefly. Kind of find a few of them, mainly Chaozu was one of them, and Chaozu was familiar despite never meeting him. Since it's Ki near the ship, well, getting Frieza to go away from it was a good opportunity to let Chaozu go in and grab the Dragon Balls. He trusted this very familiar Ki. Chaozu grabbed the Dragon Balls, and well, we see like just Frieza arrive and box Tien and all Zeke fighters, mainly all the humans plus Piccolo. And Piccolo and Tien combined were able to make him transform immediately. Well, the humans combined, like 3 or 4 of them were able to make him push on to his 2-second form. Then Piccolo and Tien combined were able to push him to his 3rd form. Again, Piccolo still pushing him. Then Vegeta jumped in Tien's place, and they began pushing him even more. The point where he had to go to his final form. And Tien had gained somewhat of a Super Saiyan transformation, but called it Super Namekian, as he knew he was a Namekian. Just from Vegeta telling him he's a Namekian. He called it Super Namekian. And giving him 50 times multipliers. Let me find the multiplier for that. So Piccolo has his own Super Namekian form, as he's stronger than Vegeta in base and in Super Namekian. And then we have Vegeta, who's at 4 million, and Super Saiyan, because they learned from Goku. We have Goku, who's a Super Saiyan by default, with 1, 2, 3, 4, God Blue. There. That's all Goku's forms. 1, 2, 3, 4, God Blue. That's all of his forms in order. Then Blue 1, 2, 3. But he doesn't know about 2 and 3. And I think Super Saiyan 4 Blue would just be Super Saiyan 4, but everything's blue, not red. He already has Super Saiyan God 4, but that's just him using Super Saiyan 4, but then mixing it with God Ki. Yeah. So Piccolo 600 million, Vegeta 200 million, and those two begin boxing Frieza, who's not much higher than 130 million. So as they box Frieza like this, well, Frieza's getting abused left and right. By the time Frieza's done, he's just begging for mercy. Only to have Goku put his staff in Frieza's mouth. Frieza's a little confused by this. He tries to spit it out. Suddenly, Goku just said, "Expand," and Frieza's body is immediately destroyed. And the rest of the Goku staff, at least half of it, is now the size of Namek. But he's holding it up like it's nothing, as if he drops it, it destroys Namek. And then he says compress, and it compresses back to normal size. Puts his staff away by saying shrink, puts it in his pocket, and they walk away after he then tells them all destroy the Frieza Force. They do that as Piccolo had met Nail and Guru, and everyone, well, they all get their potential unlocked besides Goku and Gohan. It's Guru's like, no, sorry, you have a different kind of ki that will not be unlocked. Your normal ki levels are probably at its peak, but Goku just wanted to try it, so Guru said fine. It's done, and well, with potential unlocking, Goku gained a bit of his memories back. With a bit of his memories coming back, he had actually gotten all his memories all the way up to him meeting Shin. And he met Shin right after he beat Majin Buu. And he beat Majin Buu at around 15 years old. Keep in mind, he's billions of years old. He beat Majin Buu at 15, and he's billions of years old. So he met Shin when he was young as all hell, or at least Elder Kai when he's super young. So yeah, I don't even think Elder Kai would be around at that point, but Goku's aware of the Kais. So yeah. But for the sake of it, let's say Elder Kai was like a Kai in training, and Beerus killed his destroyer to become a destroyer, killing the current Supreme Kai, making Elder Kai the new Supreme Kai, making him in Beerus' lifespan. Beerus killed him away, making Shin the new Supreme Kai. Now Shin and Beerus are linked, and so on and so forth. Goku had arrived on Earth eventually, and he actually realized that he was not that good of a guy, despite having good intentions. Now one day, Goku felt a bit desperate, and, well, he was alone, began shouting the name of the Elder Kai. Well, began shouting this, like, the name of this Elder Kai. But once he realized that there was no response, he actually just began yelling Elder Kai, but Shin was just questioning, like who's this mortal yelling out for Elder Kai? Looked at his face and actually going through his mind about someone Elder Kai described who was the one who challenged the gods and almost won. He realized that this is the same man, but his memories must have been erased because he was so confused about a lot of things. He openly said he was confused. But then again, he beat Frieza, so he made the guys, not made them, but he trained the guys that beat Frieza. They arrive on Earth, questioning who he is. He says he's Son Goku, but he got memories of some guy named Kai, or a guy by the name of Elder Kai's name, whatever it is. But then, with how old he is, Elder Kai would probably be the correct name. He told Goku everything, and Goku like, oh, didn't know about that, so, yeah. But then, this is when they actually offered to unlock all of Goku's memories. Bulma arrived as they said that, and she asked what they're talking about, and that's when Goku reveals he hit his head one day, and he could have been more than physically a teenager, so he was right back up to Gohan, but they reveal he's billions of years old. Which shocks Bulma. But he wants all his memories unlocked. Shin puts his hands on Goku's head, and immediately all of Goku's memories are unlocked. Goku's just amazed at the amount of power he holds. The new Goku's amazed at the amount of power he holds, but also ashamed of how he acted. Apologizes to Shin immediately, but Shin's like, no, apologize to Elder Kai, but I guess we can't because he's still sealed away somewhere. Goku immediately just said, bring him to the Z-Sword, he knows where he is. They bring Goku to the Z-Sword. He immediately just cracked it in half and unleashed Elder Kai. They asked how he knew that, and immediately when Goku had said, well, Beerus tried to do that to him, and immediately he threw Beerus in there for around a year, then let him go. So, yeah. But, yeah. Pause real quick. But Elder Kai is released. Elder Kai is just questioning how he got released. Then he sees Goku. He immediately gets nervous, so Goku had bad apologizing. He's confused, and Shin and everyone explained to him. And he then says the Son Goku he knew was very arrogant and prideful, yet extremely kind and strong. This Goku seems to have none of the arrogance and pride. Well, he has pride in his fighting skills, but that's about it, not as a person. He's on an average. But, yeah. But, nonetheless, Elder Kai is just, He's pretty happy with this new Goku, and actually offers to train Goku, and Goku agrees, but he wants the other humans train with him, well, other Z fighters, and they agree. But Chi-Chi does reveal why she can't train with him, revealing that Vegeta got her pregnant. So yeah. So with this, Goku had to think of a way to get a baby out of Chi-Chi so she could train, because she was one of the most valuable assets they had. But nonetheless, during this time, Vegeta went back and forth between Earth and Kai's realm, training with them all. Goku had learned Kai, and eventually had discovered Yardrat and trained there for a while. He started training Yardrat, learning its transmission, as he already had Kai. He learned its transmission in just like 10 minutes. He learned every other technique, and he already had a variation of it probably. But yeah. He took Gohan to Yardrat mainly, and Gohan learned a lot there. Then eventually took him back to the Kais, all the way on to just, well, in all honesty, there's no future Trunks arc. There would be no future Trunks. The androids would not be that big of a threat to Goku. And honestly, it'd be him fighting himself. Plus, in this one, I don't think the humans that ever trained the Kais lead to a lot stronger humans than Trunks would ever imagine, which these humans could no diff Android 17, 18, and 16, and probably most forms of Cell besides Perfect Cell, which Perfect Cell could probably not stand a chance against normal Goku, because this Goku can warp reality as he knows it, and Cell doesn't know half of his own abilities. So Cell would not stand a chance, leading to no future Trunks arc. And even if Goku did have a heart virus, he wouldn't die from it. He's immortal, and his body heals itself naturally, so he would not die of a heart virus. The android's not standing a chance against Goku at all. There's no future Trunks arc. That arc is left out completely. There's so many factors that get in the way of Cell, even, so yeah. The future is perfect until gets Goku Black arc, but we're not there yet. So skipping over that, we have 2 years for training with the Kais, but then that training is then up to 5 years. Where Goku had learned a bit of magic from the Kais, as he upped his own magic skill, and actually being able to help Trunks is born, and Vegeta just decided on Trunks with a normal human name, but then realized there was a pattern with Bulma's family name, then took it and made it his own because he couldn't think of a name besides Vegeta. So yeah, the Trunks was the name he decided on with the help of everyone else. But we should go on all the way on to like years passing. Like, we'll find the time skip real quick. So they've around 12 years of total peace. At this point, Gohan was born like 3 years early. So yeah. So at this point, Gohan be like 18. In reality, he's like 18, 19, 20, 21. Gohan's like into early 20s at this point. He's 21 already, and be doing great Saiyan stuff at the age of 15. So yeah. And then to replace Cell, Piccolo began doing sidekick stuff alongside Gohan, but more as partners on a sidekick. People did recognize Piccolo not as a sidekick, but as an ally, and he got the name of Cellman. Because, well, whenever he's hit by something, he just regenerates on a cellular level, which he just calls himself Cellman off that. So, yeah. Then Z Fighters, except Goku, except for Goku and Vegeta, they all kind of gained their whole superhero team as a Z Fighters. They do say they have two different members, but they're not really interested in being superheroes, and those two members are stronger than they could ever be. But yeah. But we'd have to move on all the way on to just, I'm gonna say, probably just the Buu saga. But Babidi does release Buu. Buu still, because Goku's on the egg and immediately fed Ki into it, releasing Buu. And he told everyone don't interfere in the fight. He wants to see if Buu took any of his advice. Which really confused Babidi, and he asked Shin this, and Shin said that Goku's as old as Buu is. He's older than Buu. Babidi's immediately amazed. That's when Shin reveals that Goku kid killed Buu, had killed Bibidi before, and then after that he beat the hell out of Buu. So immediately Babidi's nervous because Goku killed Bibidi and beat up Buu the first time. Kid Buu, not Majin Buu. So this becomes a whole different field, like a whole easier field than Goku. He fights Buu, he wins, and he kind of pushes Buu to Kid Buu, kind of forces him to Kid Buu. And that actually leads to Goku, who goes on and actually, fights Kid Buu. Kid Buu went from being about the early millions, mid 100 millions, also like 500 million at the highest when Goku first fought him, now going on to, I'd say, roughly 30 billion at his highest. Goku in his base form can handle Kid Buu with no effort with one hand, and he's doing just that. Watching Kid Buu slip out through the air, and then Goku dropped the air with his hand, creating tons of slashes, and cut Kid Buu to pieces, almost killing him. But eventually Goku had grabbed Kid Buu, then fired off one giant ki blast, incinerating Kid Buu on a whole different level, point with not even one atom of Kid Buu left. As Kid Buu is now permanently killed, so it's all forms of Buu. Goku landed as Buu is dead, then killed Babidi. Then with Dabura was left alone as Goku immediately released Buu and told everyone to stand aside until he doesn't fight Buu by himself, and he did just that. Dabura, Goku all he did was hold out his staff, and he told Dabura to hold it. Dabura held on staff, immediately dropping it, saying it's too heavy. This is Goku had said, "Alright then, how about this? Shrink." Immediately Dabura's like, it feels a little bit lighter, but still really heavy. Goku immediately said, "Pull it above your head, or at least close to your head, and see what it does." This is kind of just Goku told Dabura for a second. Everyone who knows the abilities of a staff, they know what he's going to do. Immediately Goku had yelled expand, and immediately Dabura's body is just destroyed by the staff's sheer size, as Dabura's body is broken on a different kind of level. Like every single bone in his body is basically just destroyed. But yeah, he destroyed Dabura with that whole expand trick. But with this, we should going on to see I guess just the next arc being the Beerus arc. Immediately, a few decades pass, not decades, but like a few years past, almost a decade. Goten is born. Then we have Bulma, not Bulma. We have Chi-Chi and Vegeta giving birth to Bulla, and Bulla is born. So yeah. So as Bulla is born, she's born to Vegeta and Chi-Chi. Then Goku and Bulma have Goten. So, yeah. But moving past that, we go on to Beerus arriving on Bulma's birthday party, seeing Goku chilling on the deck with just sunglasses on and just sunglasses and shorts on only. Really panicking, asking everyone there why Goku's here. Goku started walking over to Beerus, asking if Beerus is here for another fight. Even Whis is amazed to see Goku is still alive. And we asks Goku where he's been, and this time Goku says he's been here. Well, he's falling through time for like a million years. Then after a million years, he came back here, and well, he's been living here for almost 40 years. So, well, for a little over 40 years. But immediately Goku had like nonetheless proceeded to go about, and well, he fights against Beerus because Beerus had requested it. Only that Beerus have the life being out of him, thinking that Goku got weaker, but in reality Goku got stronger than he ever was. But immediately, like when Beerus was punched by Goku the first time, well, he's like, that was nothing. Only to have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku appear behind him, and he's punched right in the back full force, having a lot of his bones broken from that. Only he blasts send flying, but send right at Beerus, and Beerus is being burned by it as he's trying to hold it off. Then jumping into his full power state, using his Sakai power as full capability. Goku and just the Super Saiyan 3 is holding off every single bit of power, and actually doubling his own power, not doubling it, but firing back at Beerus at more than double his own power. Eventually, after around 10 minutes, Beerus is beaten up as Beerus went all out, and Goku still didn't go all out. But eventually, Beerus is trying to go for one last Sakai, only to have his staff come down right on his head and knocked out. But, yeah, so eventually Goku doesn't want to friendly spar with Whis, and Whis agrees as Goku and Whis fight. And with Goku holding back a bit, not even going Super Saiyan God yet, Super Saiyan 4 at the most, him and Whis tie. Whis is just impressed by this, as Whis is covered in sweat and bruises, so is Goku. And Whis actually asks Goku if he plans on waging war against all universes again, and Goku says no. He learned from his mistakes. He actually had parents and someone to guide him throughout life, not just forced and thrust upon into a universe. And we like, fair point. No worries. But we just move on, going all the way to just Goku and everyone else train. Well, not Goku, but everyone else trains with Beerus. Goku stays on Earth with Goten training him, and then Gohan stays on Earth training not training, but raising Pan. But Goku actually does teach Gohan and Goten about Super Saiyan God and everything. And Piccolo actually saves with Goku and the Kais because, well, Goku's basically his father as well. If you forgot that, you remember now. Piccolo was raised as Goku and Bulma's son for like the first 3 years of his life. Then he grew up bigger and then moved out. But then coincidentally he was on Mount Pauzu where Goku wanted to live the whole time. So they moved in with him again. But next arc would be the Universe 6 tournament. Champa arrived wanting some Super Dragon Balls. Till Beerus had said, "No, you're not getting into Dragon Balls." Champa said, "Who are you to stop me?" Immediately Beerus had yelled, saying, "Shut up! Don't yell! Don't you dare yell, Champa!" Immediately Vados had asked why Beerus being like this. Beerus seems scared of someone. Is it Whis? And Whis said, "No, a little friend of ours is here." Because Goku happened to be asleep in Beerus's bed. He was there seeing how Goten was doing the training, because Goten would replace Goku, and yeah. Immediately Vado was like, "Oh, he's here. How's he doing? I didn't know he was alive." Champa's like, "Who's alive?" He's yelling this, and Beerus said, "Champa, shut the hell up! Don't wake him up." And then Champa's like, "Tell me who's here." After this, Beerus says, "Son Goku." Immediately, Champa just fell to his knees, saying, "I'm dead. If he wakes up, I'm dead. Please tell someone, don't kill me." Immediately Beerus like, no. He lost a lot of memory, regained it back once he became a better person. So yeah, once Champa heard, like, "Oh, so he's weaker now?" He's like, "No, he held back and still almost beat Whis." That's when Vado's like, "Oh, how many forms did he use?" That's when Beerus says, I think close to half." He's like, I think it'd be exactly half of his forms." Vado says, "Whis, aren't you about the strongest angel now?" Whis says, "Yes, about that. Just about the strongest." So yeah. Besides his father, of course, but yeah. And eventually this leads to the Universe 6 tournament not starting. But Champa doesn't want to tell Goku one thing that he had figured out recently. Some of Goku's first Saiyans made their way out of the universe into Universe 6, creating the whole Universe 6 Saiyan race. The only difference is they were born without tails. But when Goku does wake up around a day later, he's told this by Champa, and he's amazed. When he goes to the Saiyan race, as Vegeta already acknowledged Goku as the maker of the Saiyan race. So when he arrives on Earth with Vegeta on planet Zala with Vegeta by his side, well, they meet the King of all Saiyans, and the King questions Champa on who this is, because the King's aware of Champa being a destroyer. Champa says that Goku is Son Goku from Universe 7, and he's the first person who made the Saiyans. Champa's like, oh, not Champa, the King's like, oh, so Saiyans are pretty recent in Universe 7, I'd say. They're wanting advice on how to make them, or how to keep them maintained. Something like Champa's like, no, Saiyan race is extinct by now. It's been around for millions of years. He's just the first one. He made the race. Immediately the King's like, so how is he so young? Something like we speaks up saying, I think he's just about as old as all universes. Immediately the King's jaw drops, saying, are you going to tell me that he made my Saiyan race too? Immediately we started saying, yes, just that. The King had bowed, and then made an announcement to every single Saiyan, saying that the person who made their race is here. Immediately Goku treated like royalty, and he's just impressed by this. But eventually he does actually want to compare Saiyan power to his own students. The Z fighters come out of their years of peace, with Tien having a few kids from launch. The androids don't exist, so Krillin is honestly single, unless you want to give him that same girlfriend he had in canon. Not canon, but the same girlfriend he had. I forgot her name, but she's around. That's Krillin's girlfriend, but he's a cop. Also, with Goku's teachings, he does not take anything from her, so he is nonetheless very more direct and upset with her. Constantly. But eventually, we just go on to the Z Fighters arrive, plus Vegeta and Gohan and Goten and Piccolo. And he even says that the whole Saiyan race that are fighters, well, I remember Saiyan race that likes to fight versus his Saiyans. Ones that are more intriguing to Goku are the King. Well, the ones that are more intriguing are the King, Kale, Khalifa, and Kaba. Those are the four more impressive ones. Immediately he told Vegeta to fight against the King, told Gohan fight against Khalifa, then told Piccolo fight against Kale, and told Kaba to fight against, him. Kaba agreed, dashing in Goku. There's a fight started, and, the fight, he teaches Kaba how to fight. Then how to go Super Saiyan. After Kaba learned it, Gohan even began instructing Khalifa how to go Super Saiyan. And Piccolo knew how to go Super Saiyan. It's just he's Namekian, so he went Super Namekian, not Saiyan. His aura is more greenish than yellow, but yeah. So he's able to push Kale to legendary Super Saiyan and then still beat her, and not even go Super Namekian yet. Shows how strong the Z fighters are. But Vegeta beat the hell out of the King with really no effort, because he had been trained with Beerus, not Whis. Whis trained everyone else. But yeah. Now, Tien was fighting King's strongest guard and beating the guard really easily, honestly. The rest of the race was actually, the rest of the Saiyan race actually stood no chance against the Z fighters, so they lost pretty fast. Pause. Right, what was I? The Saiyan race of Universe 6 fight the Z fighters, plus Vegeta and Piccolo. Well, the Z fighters, but they fight everyone else. Kaba saw Super Saiyan by Goku. Gohan teaches Khalifa Super Saiyan. Piccolo was able to give Kale some form of Super Saiyan, give her some understanding of it, because he had learned Super Namekian through trying to learn Super Saiyan, at least his own version of it. Then pushed her to Super Saiyan, Legendary Super Saiyan, or Berserker Super Saiyan, which he still beat her without using Super Namekian. And then Vegeta beat the King with really no effort. And this would end most of the Dragon Ball series. Goku's not known as a Saiyan. No one really thinks he's a Saiyan. Well, even if they did, it'd be very weird. Because, one, Goku can't really be considered the strongest in the universe. He's basically a deity at this point. He's a deity. There's really no passing that. So, when Krillin was made the strongest in the universe, even if it worked on Goku, if we were counting Goku, he wouldn't live long enough to become the strongest, or at least learn his abilities. He'd die very shortly, so the whole thing wouldn't really happen. Krillin just won't be strong enough to avenge his race, and that's against Frieza, who Frieza is never resurrected, because Frieza will still get manhandled, no effort with one ki blast. So yeah, And with this, we can just move on, going on to just, well, let's say Goku Black. Goku Black, well, Goku is considered a man who picked a fight with the gods. He won most of the time. And Zamasu can't really win against a guy who wouldn't win against Zeno. So Zamasu wouldn't want to do Goku Black. So Goku Black arc doesn't happen because Zamasu's too terrified of Goku Black. We can't really get stronger than Goku. It's not really a possible thing. And this ends Dragon Ball with Moro. Moro's handled basically easily by Gohan and Goten, who replaced Goku and Vegeta in that arc, because there's really no need for it. But yeah, this ends this What If. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe, comment from the video. Goodbye.